Hey y'all, you'll have to bear with me just a little bit. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. But what I want to talk about today is something that I previously talked about. It's about closing BLM land. Bureau of Land Management literally may actually become privatized into a different company. We might be losing some of the area of public land and taken out of the hands of the Bureau of Land Management. Well, that was my prediction on what was going on. People were buying stock on that. What they were going to do, what they want to do, is take this land and totally preserve it, which is what they're talking about. To be honest, I don't know what their intentions are on this. The overall down the road, the future in true intentions. But I did predict that BLM land would be closing here and there, because the whole premise of this is the green energy. They want to preserve this land. They don't want anybody on it anymore. And I predicted that they would start doing some closures. Well, my good friend sent me an article a couple weeks ago. And basically what's going to happen is the Apache Junction BLM land in Arizona. And I'm going to leave a map here where it is. It's pretty close to Phoenix, and it's on the outskirts of Phoenix. It's highly used by RVers. What was that word that they used? They called them unhoused RVers. Isn't that funny? I've never heard that phrase before, but in the article it said unhoused RVers. Basically homeless people that they're going to be displaced because they're going to close it down completely. The BLM land, it's going to be closed. So let me go ahead and read some of this because I didn't memorize it, but I did want to alert you. The Bureau of Land Management recently announced the closure of public land area near Apache Junction, Arizona, home to many RV boondockers. Got a jet going by. The move has sparked dissension and discussion among residents, the homeless community, and outdoor enthusiasts. The closure took effect on February 5th, and marks significant change for the area known for its scenic beauty and as a refuge for those without a permanent place to call home. The land features stunning views of the Superstition Mountains, situated only an hour from the densely populated Phoenix urban center. Here are the several factors that contributed to this decision. One was local concerns. Over time, the region has faced issues with trash accumulation. I mean, I agree. We have, homelessness is growing. And people want to go into BLM. They want to go boondocking. They want to get outside of cities and go out there. But the only problem is there's not enough trash bins out there. And if they're going to be using poop buckets and pee bottles and all of that, where does their trash go? Because they would pretty much have to drive into town almost every day to get rid of some of that trash. Or they would have to have their own bucket system that they had a nice gamma lid on it, which means that the odor isn't going to be able to come up. A gamma lid. I used to have one when I went boondocking, and I used to keep it, but I got rid of it because I don't boondock that much, and it was kind of a hassle to carry it. But I got it at Home Depot. It was a 5-gallon bucket, and it's a nice gamma lid that once you twist that gamma lid on, no odor is going to come up until you open it up. And what I did was when I was out boondocking, I would use that like at quartzite, right? Well, I got rid of it because I don't boondock that often. But even that can get full. Even that can get pretty full. So where is it going to go, right? If they're homeless, they might not have enough money to be driving into town all the time. I don't know what their situation is. But there's your issue. Why am I mentioning this again? Because I'm a huge advocate for living inside of a city if you have a stealthy enough vehicle. Because here, there's trash barrels everywhere. In fact, I'm at a park. There's a trash barrel right beside me. And I can go get rid of my trash properly, and people can pick it up properly, okay? But so many new homeless people, they want to go out into the wild and live out there. They feel safer, or they think they're hiding more, I guess. So over time, the region has faced issues with trash accumulation, illegal camping. I think what they mean by that is they're camping even outside. They're camping even outside of what the BLM says that they can, and they might be staying too long. And usually BLM is like 14 days. And then it says, and increased fire risk. They're starting fires out there. And this is Arizona. These problems have necessitated action to preserve the area's natural beauty and safety. Here we go. There's 2 BLM areas that I know of in Tucson area that have been closed, and one is completely fenced off. We may start seeing this a little bit more. I mean, we really might. We have to be ready for this. Another factor is parking pressure. Listen to this, as the Metro Phoenix area continues to expand rapidly, the demand for parking and access to natural space has intensified, leading to overcrowding and environmental strain. So they want to move, they want to expand. Phoenix wants to expand, and Apache Junction BLM just happens to be in the way. So here's where I'm at on this. Let me do the next one, and then I'll give you my opinion of that. The next leading factor is recreation area conversion. With plans to transform the land into a 1,100 acre recreation area, the BLM aims to enhance the region's appeal for outdoor activities. The proposed recreation area will feature trails for hiking, mountain biking, horseback riding, alongside amenities like equestrian staging areas, picnic tables, and toilets. Okay. Now that I've mentioned that, here's my issue. If I look up above, it says, on the local concerns of trash and stuff, these problems have necessitated action to preserve the area's natural beauty and safety. If you're going to take this BLM land and you're going to use it, you say to preserve it, but you're going to use it to help with parking in Phoenix. And the third one is to make the picnic tables and areas and hiking, horses, which is cool. And it's all cool. But don't sit there and tell all of us that it's to preserve the land when in actuality you're going to be using it for something else, and there's going to actually probably be more people coming in to use it. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. I don't know. But I just wanted to give my opinion on that. I guess I don't know, and I'm not an expert, but it's a little suspect to me, okay? The decision to close the public land area raises concern for the well-being of the homeless RVers who have found a place to park and shelter there. The closure creates problems for the RVers there. Yeah. I mean, there's other areas, right? It says here's number 1, risk to vulnerable individuals. Forcing those living in the area to relocate will push many RV dwellers into more remote, rural desert regions, increasing the vulnerability to crime, dehydration, and other dangers unique to the desert environment. Yeah. Well, nobody's going to be there probably in the summer. If they are, like, wow. Yeah. Let's see. Let me know what you think about that little ditty there. I mean, it says they will relocate those living in the area to relocate. Well, if you're out boondocking, that doesn't mean you get to live there. So I have to go on that premise too. I mean, you can't just live there. I would love to just stay here and just live right here at this park. I want to live at this park. I can't do that. I got to move along during the day. I got to go somewhere at night. I can come back and use it, but I have to kind of move along, right? So there you have that. Now the next one is urban dilemma. This situation reflects a growing problem for urban planners and government officials, balancing the need for public safety, clean neighborhoods, with the imperative to avoid displacing homeless individuals from areas where they can legally access essential services. Well, if you looked at that map, I mean, it is obvious that it's pretty close to Phoenix. You know, it's just on the outskirts of Phoenix. So they can drive through to get water, services, things like that. But they want to balance the need, okay? Well, that's nice. I don't know what to think about that, if that's really true or not. Enforcement challenges. BLM rangers will be tasked with enforcing the closure with the authority to issue citations or make arrests for federal violations, such as overstaying limits on camping. Those who remain in the area past the deadline risk facing fines or imprisonment, adding a legal dimension to the social and environmental issues. Yeah. So it said I think this is a wrap up. Looking ahead, with the closure date just passed, it was on the 5th, the community, including homeless persons, residents, and outdoor enthusiasts participating, the planned BLM improvements is left to navigate the uncertainties of displacement and change. The BLM's decision underscores the challenge of managing public lands in a way that balances recreational opportunities with environmental preservation and social responsibility. The transformation of the land into a recreation area promises to bring new amenities and opportunities for outdoor recreation, potentially boosting local tourism. That's really not preserving. You know, so if their goal was to preserve, that was their, yeah. However, the transition also illuminates the need for comprehensive solutions that address the needs of unhoused RVers. I love that. Unhoused, not homeless, but unhoused RVers and others who have increasingly come to rely on public lands, ensuring that they are not simply pushed down the road and out of sight. Well, that's exactly what they're trying to do. I mean, that's really what they want to do. I mean, let's be truthful, you know. Government does not want to deal with all of the homeless people. They really don't, in my opinion. As discussions continue and plans for the recreation area proceed, residents are hopeful of a future that balances the needs of all who live in the deserts and in the Pinal County area. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so what do y'all think? Let me know what you think. Here, whoa. Let me know what y'all think. I've got the fan on low. Obviously, it's getting warm outside. In the next couple of days, it's going to get up to like 80 degrees. I think it drops a little bit more. Yeah, there is a significant change coming for all of BLM. I really do believe that. Yeah. I am finding, I had mentioned, I think last week, that the one park that I spent a lot of time in, I'm not there anymore. I don't even want to go there. There was this Class A that had moved in. They were new, and they didn't look like, I don't know how to be polite about it. The whole thing looked kind of trashy. I mean, I guess I'll say that, but they seemed nice, but yet obviously they weren't considerate, because they had a huge Class A. It's a very old one, and they were pulling a huge trailer in the back, They had 2 cars. I don't know how many people are in there. I know there's a husband and wife. They have dogs. They were putting their dog pen out in the parking lot like that was their campsite. And what they did was they parked this way instead of this way, the way they're supposed to. And they were taking up, well, you can imagine a Class A with a big trailer in the back and 2 cars. They pretty much took over this huge area under the solar panels. There's not that many solar panels. And they look like they were new in the area. I don't know if they're still there. When I drove by a couple times early in the morning, they were there. So I think they were actually living there overnight, which you can't do that in the park. We know that. And we observe the rules. But here's my point. Not everybody is observing all these rules. They're not doing it. And they're just doing what they want to do. We'll get this moved around a little bit. Yeah, there are new homeless people out and about now because of the economy and because of people they can't afford rent anymore. But they haven't learned what the ethics are of this nomad life. These unhoused RVers. Yeah. They don't know the etiquette yet. They haven't been out here long enough. And they're dumping trash. They're not being thoughtful to other people. So it's going to become more and more of an issue, I do believe. And I think in my feeling, and I've talked to a lot of my friends about this, we feel that there will eventually be closures. Now, you might say, well, what about Quartzsite? I really don't think so. Maybe in a few years, they might say, oh, we need to preserve that land. And what's going to happen is these other systems, investment systems, are like investments where they invest in it, and then they sort of use this land for their own purposes, under the guise of we're going to preserve this for climate change, things like that. So we shall see. We'll see what happens. This is one of the reasons that I say, hey, if you're not much of a boondocker, if you're not much of an outdoors, although I'm very outdoors, I'm at the parks and things like that, so I'm very outdoors. But if you're not outdoors, out in private land, out away from all the public, cities and towns, your best bet, if you don't really want that, and you lived in a city anyways, and you're an older woman, you don't want to go that route. This is why I advocate what I advocate, and I tell y'all, you can do this. But you can't have a big Class A carrying a big trailer behind you. Where in the world in town are you going to park for free? Yeah, I mean, in a neighborhood, you're going to get some welfare checks, and you're going to get some frowns going on big time. I park in neighborhoods, and I just blend in. I call it urban nestling. I'm nestling in with the locals. Yes. And was that steeple of the church? Yeah. See all the people inside? Yeah. Remember that? Yeah. I just sort of nestle in with everybody, and people don't bother me. I will tell you, oh, it was so cute, and then we'll end this. And give me your thoughts, the comments, and what you think about this. I made it at this park. I made a friend. She was walking by and she saw me, and I asked her a couple questions about the senior center that was here. And I said, ask her questions about it. And she goes, oh, I'm new here too. She goes, I'm just down here visiting. My daughter lives here. And she goes, I'm from Colorado. She goes, but I'm here until like the end of March. I go, oh, okay. So we really had a long conversation. And she goes, well, let's go check out. But I had bins out and I was kind of cleaning. So I said, we can't do it right now, but I'll go check. I said, if you want to know what happened, when you see me here, you come back, just knock on my window. Well, she did this morning. It was so cute. She knocked on my window, and I just, because I can get up into my area in there in the front, I've got this long space here. She sat in my front seat. We talked a good hour. It was like having a guest over at my house. She had some coffee, made coffee for her or something. She thought it was so funny. I guess she told her daughter, she goes, oh, I met this really nice lady. She goes, she lives in her van. I guess her daughter scolded her and said, Mom, you're out talking to homeless people. I thought that was so cute. Well, I told her, I said, well, I'm pretty up and up. If she wants to check me out, I've got a YouTube channel if she wants to see who I am. But she laughed. She goes, I think she was teasing me, but I said, yeah. And she looked around and she goes, oh my gosh, this is so nice. But so I had company over this morning. Oh my gosh, isn't that cute? Yeah. Okay, so I love the city life. And I really, I've got mountains. I can see mountains around me. I've got nature. I'm at a park. I like having people around. But I'll bet at Apache Junction. Let's think about this, people. If they have to kick all these people out and they've been living there a long time past, I bet it was starting to get crowded out there too, right? And they didn't even have amenities. I've got amenities here in the city, Okay, everybody, I love you. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I've got the book, How to Live in a Minivan, The Minivan Lee Way. And it's on Amazon. Just type in Minivan Lee and I will pop up. And I've got ebook and I've got paperback. Now go to minivanlee.com. I do have a neck gaiter on today. I've got neck gaiters. I've got exercise videos and I do have sunglasses, And so I don't know. See, I imagine with summer coming, if you want them, I would get them now. I've had so many people say, where do you find your fashionable sunglasses? They're so cool looking. Well, I bought some and I got them for you if you want them. And if you want to give me a gift, there's all amounts on there from $5 on up. And you can just pick one and, or pick two, But, it does help to support me. And it's sort of like giving me a tip. If you go to a restaurant, you tip a waitress and they brought you coffee and your meal. But I've entertained you for like 20 minutes and given you good information. Okay? So if you want to give me a little tip, it's mucho gracias, right? Thank you very much. Till tomorrow. Tomorrow. Love you. Bye. I like to turn these off. Preserve my energy. Gotta preserve my energy. Yeah.